Migrating to Azure Premium SSD v2. Resize and migrate using Cirrus Migrate Cloud. Cirrus Migrate Cloud is a patented solution created to help customers move data from anywhere to anywhere. As a cloud-native migration-as-a-service solution, Cirrus Migrate Cloud enables users to easily migrate from any storage on any platform at any location to Microsoft Azure storage. Cirrus Data and Azure. Cirrus Migrate Cloud is tightly integrated with Microsoft Azure storage services in a number of ways. When migrating to Azure, Cirrus Migrate Cloud can automatically allocate necessary storage resources with just the click of a button. Cirrus Migrate Cloud also provides a purpose-built recommendation wizard that provides cost analysis as well as product and sizing recommendations to Azure customers. Recommendations are made to users based on CMC's intelligent analytics on existing application and storage usage behavior. Cirrus Migrate Cloud supports all Azure Block Storage products, including Azure Premium SSD v2 and Azure Elastic SAN on day one of general availability. Demo: migrating a Microsoft Windows server from Azure Premium SSD v1 to v2 with storage resizing. For this demonstration, we will be migrating and resizing a Windows Server 2019 workload from Azure Premium SSD to Azure Premium SSD v2. This is the Windows host. It has one 1 TB Premium SSD and one 64 GB Premium SSD. While this workload does not require a lot of storage, this capacity is provisioned to meet I/O performance requirements. In this case, a P30 and a P6 volume are being used to achieve the needed throughput. Let's take a look at the Windows desktop. Both volumes are formatted as NTFS file systems labeled one TIB drive and one 64 GIB drive. We will be migrating these two volumes to Premium SSD v2. As described earlier, only a small amount of storage is used in each of these volumes. Since Premium SSD v2 allows configurable performance parameters, we will be downsizing these volumes later to be cost-effective. Deploying Cirrus Migrate Cloud for Windows. Let's go to Cirrus Data Cloud and log in. We will create a new migration project named Azure Premium SSD v2 Migration. Enter a description and select Create Project. From Migration Hosts, select Deploy Cirrus Migrate Cloud. Click this button to copy the installation command for Windows. This same command can be used to install as many hosts as you would like for this project. Paste the command in PowerShell, and CMC will install and register to Cirrus Data Cloud all by itself. Once registered, we can see that this demo host 1 appears in the project as a Windows 2019 server from Azure. Our 1 TB drive F and 64 GB drive G are also discovered automatically along with other system information. I/O performance metrics are also available from Cirrus Data Cloud. Our intelligent Azure recommendation wizard is now analyzing the environment behind the scenes. We are now ready to migrate. Azure integration. Before we start, let's set up an Azure to Cirrus Data Cloud integration. We only have to do this once. From the integration catalog, select Azure Managed Disks. Enter your Azure API credentials. If you need help setting up your Azure account, click the Help Center button on the left at any time to find our step-by-step integration guide. Now let's click Save, and we'll see the integration has been validated and added successfully. Resizing the source volumes. Cirrus Migrate Cloud supports migrating larger block volumes to smaller block volumes. Therefore, no manual disk resizing will be necessary for this migration. Let's shrink the file systems. We can simply leave the extra space unallocated. This space was previously needed solely for performance reasons, and we do not need that for Premium SSD v2. The 1TB volume now has a 13GB file system, and the 64GB volume now has a 3GB file system. Migration. Now let's create a migration session. Select the Windows host and click Migrate Host Volumes. Here we will select Local Migration, since we are only migrating the workload between tiers within the same host. Select Migrate Data Volumes Only and click Continue. The next step is Storage Volumes. We will first enable the ability to migrate to smaller volumes. This option is not enabled by default for safety reasons. We will select the two source volumes we intend to migrate, the 1TB volume and the 64GB volume. Let's click on Auto Allocate Destination Volumes to let the Azure integration automatically allocate the Destination Premium SSD v2 volumes. Select the previously created integration and continue. Here you can configure the parameters needed for the new volumes. You can also launch our Intelligent Recommendation Wizard right here. It is specifically built for Microsoft Azure, so let's try it. With the observed application and storage behavior, Cirrus Data Cloud can intelligently make an Azure-aware recommendation that fits your needs and preferences. Here, we are recommended to use the lowest cost standard HDD, but of course, this is because our demo host has been idle for the entire time. So let's manually select Premium SSD v2. Since we intend to shrink the volumes during migration, we can enter the exact size that we need. We will put 16 gig and 4 gig here. And just like that, the destination volumes are automatically created and paired correctly with the source volume. From the Windows host, you can see that 2 raw volumes have been assigned to the host and are ready to receive data. Migration parameters. Here you can configure auto resync to minimize the migration time. You can also configure a migration schedule and your IQOS setting. IQOS is a purpose-built feature that intelligently minimizes the impact of migration, allowing CMC to migrate as fast as possible without impacting production I/O. Take a look at our other presentations on our YouTube channel or in the videos section of our website at cirrusdata.com to learn more about IQOS. You can also set up some host-level automation throughout the migration process, such as taking snapshots, etc. Since we do not need these for this demo, we will just select Create Session. And migration has now started. From the Change Data map, we can see exactly which parts of the volumes have been migrated and which parts have not. Since this is a live migration, let's go back to the Windows host and make some changes to the data. Changes made during the migration will be reflected on the Change Data map dynamically. Let's wait for the migration to finish. The application remains live, and all changes to the source volumes are tracked for the entire time. To prepare for cutover, we can now enter cMotion. cMotion is a Cirrus Migrate Cloud feature that allows you to cut over to the destination volumes without any downtime. Once a migration is in the cMotion state, you can immediately enjoy all the benefits of the destination Premium SSD v2 volume without any downtime to the production application. So let's try it. Back on the Windows host, we will create a new file on drive F. At this moment, drive F is still mounted from the 1TB disk 2. But with cMotion, this new file is actually saved to the destination 16 gig volume behind the scenes. You can stay in cMotion indefinitely and use the new v2 volume this way until you have a convenient time to perform a final cutover. You can also back out of cMotion and go back to using the original source storage for production. Since cMotion is reversible, Only changes made during C-motion are required to be resynchronized. Now, finally, it's time to perform the final cutover. Since the destination V2 volumes are already in production via C-motion, the final cutover can be just as simple as a quick unmount and remount. Let's bring the 1TB and 64GB volumes offline. Complete the session. And let's do a Windows rescan. Just like that, a second later, the F drive and G drive are now running on the new V2 volumes that are smaller in size. Let's confirm that the file written during C-motion is indeed on the new volume. And there it is. Migration has now completed. You can also generate a migration report that includes detailed information about the migration operation. You can view it or print it out for a permanent record at any time. This concludes the demo. We have successfully used Cirrus Migrate Cloud to migrate from an existing premium SSD with excess capacity to an appropriately sized premium SSD V2 volume.